I mean, you guys have the most incredible pitches that the most ludicrous and the best that I've ever heard. Do you guys have any favorites that you can tell us about?
Oh,
there's
a ton of them. One of my favorite one that we did a deal with, David Chilton and I did a deal on, was Steep Tea.
Right.
And it was in the first show in the first season, or this season. And it's done astronomically well. I'm even shocked because I sort of went in on the back end of it with David. And I think this month we'll do $1 million in sales, this month. So it's gone through the roof. I've never seen anything on a tea company. So the people that are running it are absolutely great people, and this has taken off like I've never believed. So that was one of the best ones I've seen.
Do you have a favorite?
I'll give you the worst one. It was a few seasons ago when a woman came on and said, if I sing to this 5-gallon jug of water, I can split it into 3 different elixirs. One cures jealousy, one cures love, and one makes you rich. I said, I think you're insane. I think you're insane. She said, if I'd come out here 100 years ago and had a boiling cauldron of a black sticky syrup, you would call me insane, and that was Coca-Cola. I said, no, you're insane. Don't worry about it.
At this point, it seems like you guys get some great leads, though, too. As you said. At what point, though, do you ever have sticky seasons where the leads don't pay out, I guess, as well, or is it always...
It's like the real world. Not every deal closes. We go into due diligence, we find out things we like or don't like. Probably a third of them close, and then you've got the ratio of venture capital. You need to buy a lot of deals because you never know which one's going to work. You absolutely have no idea, but when they do, you make a lot of money, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, I think the same thing. I looked at the deals I've done, and I did 43 deals last year, and of all the deals that had come through, I'd spent probably $6.5 million. But like the real world, as Kevin says, is probably down to 10%. And 10% of the deals I'm doing right now, I'm probably finishing off in 3 more deals. So that'd be a total of 5 or 6 deals you get through the whole year out of 43. So some of them are pitches that you use just for television. They want the television time. There's other that you look at the due diligence and it doesn't work, end of story. So that's basically the real world. That's the same as out there.
Right. That's interesting.
I'll say one thing about the platform. It's gotten so big now that people that know Dragon's Den, and there are 5 million Canadians a week watch it, they know if they can get their product or service on it, their sales are going to double or triple. So we get a lot of people that come on that don't have an intention of doing a deal. They just want to get on Dragon's Den, and we try and beat those ones with a stick when we can.
I think that what it's done too is across the country that we've seen entrepreneurs coming out of the woodwork that we've never seen before. When you look at the first season, and we were drawing 280,000 people to the site of Dragon's Den, and now to Kevin's point of 5 million a week watching the show. There's a lot of people out there become entrepreneurs or think they might be entrepreneurs, and that's a great thing for the country.
Right, and that was actually something I wanted to ask is, from where the show began until now, do you think the country's in a stronger position in terms of that business level?
I think things are recovering slightly. I still say banks aren't lending small businesses anything because they generally come to us just looking for capital to grow, often just to fund receivables or buy a piece of plant or equipment that normally in the old days would have been provided for by a bank. So I don't care what banks say, they're not really funding small companies. They want to loan large companies that have no risk associated with them capital, not small guys.
I think you're going to see a change in that, and I agree with Kevin. I think that up until this point it's been the people that are out there like ourselves that are lending money. I think the banks have seen what's going on, and I know of 2 for sure that are putting a whole division together just for small businesses and this level. Wow. In fact, they're actually going to take the same model we use in Dragon's Den to do it. I sat and talked to one bank for sure that has literally taken a piece and said, that's what we're going to do. Now, typical of banks, they have to take their time, they have to put it all together, and they have to put the personnel in there that can loan money the way that we do it on our basis. But I think there are people across the country that are starting to look at this very seriously and saying, there's a lot of pent-up capital around. In both this country and the one to the south of us. And I think that the only way that they're going to get out of their dilemma that they're in the United States, and the same thing we have to get it to small business. These are the people that are going to grow the economy. Nobody else is going to do it. We are the guys that are going to do it.
That's cool. Well, the only other question I wanted to ask is, what do you guys think of the I mean, the show has spawned a lot of success outside Canada. I mean, I don't want to say knockoffs, but the other series. What do you guys think about that?
Works in every environment, every economy. There's entrepreneurs all around the world, and I think it just celebrates their success. I'm very proud that we have a broad audience here in Canada, 5 million Canadians watching this show, from 9-year-old girls to 9-year-old men. What's it all about? It's about being an entrepreneur, and I think that's great. You know, we're helping getting this economy off the ground, creating real jobs, not government jobs, and that's a good thing. I want to shrink government. I want them to look at Dragon's Den. I'd like to see them come on the show and make it.
Nice.
Well, you know, I think what you're going to see is other shows in other countries the same. Kevin's doing another show the same area, you know, and I think those are the things that have spawned from this, us being successful in Dragon's Den. If Dragon's Den hadn't been that way, we would have never saw any of these other shows. All of a sudden, you're seeing it in different. Our show is shown in England. It's a repeat. We're also seeing it now. I had a lady come up to me and talk to me about Australia. I said, "Where'd you hear about this?" And she said, "I saw you in Dragon's Den." In our repeat going over to there. So I think it's great for the country. I think it's going to be a huge thing in the next couple of years to get us out of this sort of moldrum where we're going like this right now. We've got to get going up the way. And the two countries going to show that for the rest of the world. This country and the one to the south.
Amazing. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Pleasure.